Deputy Speaker, and I'd like to join with colleagues in thanking the honourable members for Havant and Hove for all their work to secure the debate today. I'd like to start by declaring an interest, Mr. Deputy Speaker. For 3 years, from 2009 till 2012, I worked at the World Economic Forum. And of course, the subject of the debate today was the subject of this year's Davos meeting, the fourth industrial revolution. An industrial revolution that will be characterised by new forms of renewable energy and the exponential outward expansion of technological innovations driven by the internet. It's a revolution that will take place as we face severe challenges to our economic future, seemingly ever-increasing inequality, the worst productivity crisis and trade deficit in our country's history, greatly reduced job security, over-concentration on London as the predominant source of wealth and growth in the country at the expense of other regions, over-reliance on the services industries with an unprecedentedly low share of manufacturing in terms of the share of GDP, and manufacturing being so crucial to broadly shared wealth. And we've seen it drop from over 30% 40 years ago to under 10% now in terms of the share of our GDP. And that lies at the heart of many of the difficulties in terms of the unbalanced nature of the British economy. In the aftermath of the EU referendum, each of these challenges is exacerbated by the uncertainty that our economy faces as we negotiate Brexit. Given that we don't know what our trading relationship with our largest market will be, and likely won't know for some time. In this difficult context, the fourth industrial revolution, which will completely transform the way we live, will be a defining period for the future of our economy. Will the technology at its heart, left unfettered, entrench the challenges we face, threatening jobs, driving inequality, reducing exportable products, as the economy is further limited to services and further place all the risks and insecurity of the economy on the worker? Or will we use this fourth industrial revolution to transform and brighten our economic future for all of our people? Can its fusion of digital technology, intelligence and connectivity shape a new economy with new models of manufacturing, labour relations and skills development that creates jobs, raises living standards and allows us to trade with the world in new ways? And in creating this new economy, can it help us to realise our values in society and in our everyday lives? The answer to those questions is what we make it. We must shape and lead the fourth industrial revolution so that it delivers the society and the economy that we want for people all across our country. It requires a government with a vision of what a fourth industrial revolution must look like in order to deliver the outcomes that we need. A government that has an industrial strategy that helps us to get there. A government that takes action, that takes control of our future. This will mean a strategy and plan to rebuild a new manufacturing sector based on the Internet of Things, that creates world-leading products, but also delivers a more sustainable form of labour relations. It will require us to take long-term decisions that really back British ingenuity and ideas. It will require us matching or exceeding OECD levels of investment in research and development, which is the source of future sustainable growth and industry. As part of this, we must continue Horizon 2020 funding, which does so much to catalyse university research and innovation and transform it into market products. The government has currently promised to match Horizon funding until 2020, but even in a fastest possible Brexit scenario, that is only 1 year of matched funding. We must commit for longer to give universities and innovators the confidence they need, especially in the face of Brexit-fuelled uncertainty, to develop the ideas and the IP that will inspire and drive our future in the fourth industrial revolution. As well as providing this foundation for the catalysts of the fourth industrial revolution, government must protect its fruits, protecting British IP, business, manufacturing and supply chains. We simply cannot afford to be hands-off and allow a world-class tech business such as ARM Holdings to be sold to the Japanese. We cannot run a successful, growing economy and secure the investment it needs if we allow our crown jewels to be sold off. Just in the last year, I've seen the huge difference in impact between a hands-off approach to government and one that is active. The British steel industry, so important in my constituency, has been failed time and time again by our government. The government did not act to block the dumping of state-subsidised Chinese steel when it could have done. The government did not act to access funds that could have helped retrain and reskill workers and invest in the community when it could have done. The government did not encourage investment or profitability in keeping a regressive business rates regime and uncompetitive energy prices. And yet, when government and the state does step up to shape our future and provide a future foundation for our success, British talent can... I will give myself, of course, thank you.
I'm very grateful to him. He mentions the sale of ARM Holdings to SoftBank. Yesterday we saw the announcement of Micro Focus, a UK business, buying a significant business off Hewlett-Packard. Do you think we should just be able to buy businesses internationally rather than, but not be able to sell them internationally? Is that how he sees that should work?
For his intervention. In my view, we need a reform of the Companies Act, which places a clear national interest clause and a method of monitoring and executing that clause so that we move away from the situation such as we saw with, for example, Pfizer attempting to take AstraZeneca, and I'm very thankful that the previous leader of the opposition did a great job in terms of preventing that from happening, but it's very ad hoc. And I think we need a national strategy to protect our national assets, particularly where those assets play such a key role in the research and development that drives the entire economy and indeed drives the fourth industrial revolution. In Aberavon, we have a remarkable company called Specific that works to turn buildings into power stations. Specific is developing steel-based coatings for buildings, roofs, walls, glass, you name it, which can generate and store its own electricity. And it works. We already have an industrial site in Port Talbot that has been generating all of its heat through solar power like this for 3 years. And all of this is done thanks to a partnership between business, universities, industry, and yes, the state. The Specific project is a living, breathing example of the fourth industrial revolution in action. And it required the proactive support of government. Without the support of both Innovate UK, the European Union, and the Welsh Assembly Government, this project would not have got off the ground. We will only be able to make the UK, in every region, a leader of the fourth industrial revolution if government sees its role as one that can build launch pads for our people and our businesses to succeed. Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like to close by quoting my old boss at the World Economic Forum, Professor Klaus Schwab. In its most pessimistic, dehumanized form, the fourth industrial revolution may indeed have the potential to robotize humanity and thus to deprive us of our heart and soul. But as a complement to the best parts of human nature, creativity, empathy, stewardship, it can also lift humanity into a new collective and moral consciousness based on a sense of shared identity. That is the prize of the fourth industrial revolution, Madam Deputy Speaker, but only if we make it so.
Tom Torbentat.
Vielen Dank.